Recently, I was having a conversation with a dear friend of mine who is been in launch for 2 years. I know she has not taken any of my programs. Um, and I love her to pieces. And this is where we need to understand our personalities and the journey it takes for everyone. It's different. In our Ready to Launch program, it's a set date, right? We are hustling to get to a date. And the reason I do that is so you don't have 2 years of building a business. Um, Sometimes that's okay. But when we look at a teaching or advising or service type business, I personally, there's two ways of doing it. One, you create all of it, all of your content and teachings, and you create everything ahead of time, all of your videos and what have you. And then you can evergreen. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You can evergreen it. When you evergreen it, it's fine. There is value in that, but I would also point out that when you do evergreen it, you still have to keep involved, right? You still have to send messages to your clients and students. You still have to evolve your platforms and your teachings. You can't just completely check out. Um, so that's one piece of it. But I personally believe when you are doing this, you have to design your frameworks. And once your frameworks are there, it's very easy to create on the fly. So I have all my frameworks I've been using for years, all my strategies I've been using for years. Those never change. What changes is what goes into all those compartments. Think about that like Monday through Sunday pill box, and each one has all these pills in it. But as you get older, more pills go in. And if you're younger, you haven't experienced this yet, but you've seen it in your parents or grandparents, and you know what I'm talking about, right? So you have all of these pills lined up, and then they change over the years. The colors change, the sizes, the days they go in, all those different things. That's the framework of Monday through Sunday, I'm going to take these things, right? So that's when you're creating teaching experiences. That's what you're doing with your framework. And you put in the different modules or experiences that need to be had in that framework. I personally believe there should always be live teaching in that. I I love teaching. I just love it. I love the questions. I love being able to be live and understanding where everyone's at so I can make sure that you're truly getting what you said you wanted to get and I'm delivering to you what I said I was going to give to you. So I think it's really important to be live. I like that connection. Um, Even my evergreen programs, you might be going through modules of training, but I guarantee you, you will meet me every week live. And if you're not meeting me, you're meeting one of my other teachers that have mastered that experience. And they come in and teach live because we never want you stuck. We never want you not experiencing humans. Um, so I think there's a lot of value in it. I think that I'm in this because of relationships. I'm very considerate about the people and them really reaching their goals and desires. And you can't do that in evergreen, at least not successfully for everyone. There are some people that that will work for. I did take a course that way. It was a friend of mine's course. Um, I was super excited when they launched it, paid full price and was all in. And I didn't know it was evergreen, which was interesting. I knew that he was really busy building it. And he did. He just like designed all the framework and kind of like was figuring all the things out. And then when he decided to launch, he was like, okay, I'm launching. And he had the marketing design, he had the process, every step figured out. And I'd done some trial runs with some people to test it. And then what he did is he pre-sold it. And while it was on automation of selling, he was on the other end of it, And what he was doing is that entire week he was unreachable, and he locked himself. He left. He locked himself into a hotel room and just sat at that hotel place in one of their offices that you can get there, and just bam, 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 recorded everything. So there was no disruption. And he designed all his worksheets, all of the workflows, all the recordings, everything was done in a week. And then it uploaded and took everyone through an entire month's worth of content. Every single day, there was a video. And every single day, there was a go do and a worksheet. And even the catch up days were in there. And it was like, it was gorgeous. He did an amazing job. So that was nothing compared to an experience of taking 2 years, right? But he spent the time learning what his audience was, what he wanted to create. He created it and then knew what the teaching needed to be. And so he just went through and bashed it out. And then that was the complement to his product. So he sold a product, and then the teaching was the complementary piece behind it. And so it was gorgeous, and he did a really good job. Um, but I really do believe that there is huge value in real-time interaction, especially when you're a new entrepreneur. And so there's questions. Your business is unique because you're unique and you have an idea and a passion that's unique to you. And so when you're in real-time interaction, one, you get ideas validated. Two, you get ideas from the other people in there. They like as you grow your relationships together, it happens every time. When your relationships start growing together, you start calling each other outside of, or messaging each other or whatever. Or even when we're doing the Q&A session, sometimes people will speak up and be like, hey, and there's times where it's like everyone is interacting so much together and our time is up. I just leave it in Zoom and I'm like, I'm passing the ball to you guys. I have to go, but carry on because that real time interaction is valuable. You're learning things, you're getting new ideas, you're helping each other through this process of creation. People don't just go out and parent on their own. There's a whole tribe that comes around them to help, right? Because it's hard to do. you, you brought a life into the world, and that's what a business is. And so the real-time interaction is super important, so that you don't get discouraged, so that you have a place that's safe, that you're not going to be judged. If you fail and mess something up, we can laugh about it together and fix it, which happens, right? I've had that happen. Someone completely launched a business. They got done with the program, and like 2 weeks later, we were all still meeting. And they 2 weeks later, they were like, I have ran into a massive problem that none of us could have foreseen. And I love the business. I'm parking it for now, and I'm going to go do this business now. And I'm like, brilliant. Let's do it. But we had a good laugh about the challenge, and that it was quite interesting that none of us did see that. And but it was part of the research process, and it was buttoned up and it all fell apart, which happens. And so it was no money lost, and very little time lost. But they had a second business they had wanted anyways. And so they decided to pivot and go into the art industry and launch from there instead of this other business they were looking at. And it worked out great. So the real-time interaction helps you laugh at those types of mistakes. And very quickly, everyone came around that individual and was like, let's get you back up to par with all the rest of us really quick. And everyone leaned in and helped. And boom, they were like up to speed and running with everybody else that they were in a cohort with. So it was great. Um, so, think about it. Think about like what is right for you and why it's so important as a new entrepreneur to be able to have that real time live interaction. And I would say in a community environment, I do advise people one on one, especially when some of these businesses went through, are ready to launch, and then some of our peer pockets, but now they're scaling, and maybe the cohort that they've been in isn't ready to scale. And so we might have a couple advising sessions. And when you're like, yeah, that one-on-one advising is helpful because it's like, yeah, you scaled very fast. It's amazing. Do you want to keep the business or do you want to sell it? Right? What do you want to do? And then designing those types of plans. Um, but a lot of times in the cohorts, people are going in sync. We try to match you up with the right group for you so that you're around people that are most like-minded and in similar industries and what have you, so that you can continue to run together. But keep that in mind when you're looking at different options, even for yourself, for teaching your own courses and doing your own advising. Understand the power of community and understand the power of human interaction. You can be virtual, you don't need to be in person, face to face. It's still human interaction. So I think that that is really important. So look at that when you're looking at doing your business and how you set that up so that you're still involved in it. Unless it is the teaching is a byproduct to get people to use your product, then I can see it being evergreen. But you usually have other sources to reach out to them live that are outside of the examples I just gave. So hopefully that helps you and gives you some food for thought.